Hello, and welcome to my show. I decided to not do a live today. Instead, I'm just going to talk, speculate different theories, different things that are going on in our minds regarding the Kiely Rodni case because I know that for a lot of us, she just never leaves our mind. And we are constantly changing our theories and speculations based on things that are happening now, whether it be certain social media of certain individuals, and just because we have to go back to the beginning and we have to like try to piece it together in our minds to make sense because none of it makes sense. And that's what's so frustrating is because this case has gripped my heart. It's gripped the hearts of of many in the world. And I can't seem to let go. And maybe it seems unhealthy to some, but she's just someone I can't stop talking about. She's someone I refuse to just let it be swept under the rug like the locals have done. Um, and law enforcement and anyone else that's involved, I can't just do that. I know that there are many, many cases that are cold cases that we will never know the truth of. And I care about each and every one of those, but my brain can only address and analyze one case at a time. Summer Wells is another case that that bothers me. It breaks my heart when I think about it, and I she's another one where I have no idea what happened to her. I don't know that we ever will know what happened to her. That seems like another one that's gone cold and nobody's really talking about it anymore, but today I just want to bring up a couple of things that I have that I had from the beginning when things were first happening, like the very first 2 weeks of Kylie's case, and I'm just going to try to make sense of it. So, I'm going to pull up some stuff here. Just give me a minute because I have to go to my files and pull it up. But okay. So, number one thing I want to talk about is going to be I share my screen. This one. Okay, so this doesn't show anybody's name. I'm not going to reveal where it came from. I just know that it is from a local, and this came out in the very beginning. So, this is how the screenshot was sent to me. The locals are starting to get fired up, and I don't really feel like engaging, but I think Kylie deserves more than she's getting, and maybe I can help by passing on some pics, info, personal connections I found to save you the time. The admin of the page just posted a first name and initial of the guys that camped next to Kylie. I don't want to be the one to out them publicly, but I think it's awful that those kids weren't helping from the beginning. Their names are Evan Fight and Philip Veraco. Now, before I go on, I am going to say I am not sitting here and saying these two kids, actually, they're adults, they're not kids, are involved in her disappearance, in her death at all. That is not what the screenshot is saying. The screenshot simply says these were the kids or the adults. I hate how they always use kids, but these are the names of the guys that camped next to Kylie. Okay, so that is all the screenshot is saying. Don't read further into it than what it is. Not saying that all of this basically says is that these boys were obviously pretty close to Kylie. If they camped next to her, this is perhaps who, when Sammy left the party, she knew Kylie was, camped out next to these friends and they had her back. Maybe she thought that. I don't know. But we know that these two people have come up also in their faces have appeared in a lot of the press conferences. Anywhere that we've seen Sammy Smith in any of the press conferences, there was a group of guys that followed her around, and two of those boys were mentioned. Do they have anything to do with it? Probably not. Don't know. We don't know anything. But the fact that they were camped by her and nobody saw her leave makes me wonder, what do they know? Um, I can't just accept that they know nothing, because if they were camped next to her, it tells me that somebody had to have seen something, at the very least, maybe who was around her vehicle, maybe who she was hanging around with, maybe who she walked to and from her vehicle with, um, and perhaps maybe at least a time when her car was gone, you know? So there's a lot of names, there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of theories, there's people with money, there's people with power. And at the end of the day, it's just, I just want to know, if everyone is screaming accident, why is it so hard to just tell the truth of what happened? Because you can't say accident when she was found in the back of her vehicle and all the circumstances around that. Was she seen on Saturday? Was she not? I don't believe that she was seen. I believe it was someone else in her vehicle. I don't know whether Kylie was in the back of her own vehicle at that time or if she was put somewhere else. I don't know that. I just know that it's frustrating. I know that we have a lot to talk about and a lot to think about, but we have no real answers. We don't know when she was actually last seen. Do we know if the party was actually August 5th? No, we don't. I've seen party pictures from August 4th. So, how do we know something didn't happen before that? And this is all a narrative that they came up with and was like, okay, so Saturday we're going to say she went missing, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's just theories. That's just things that I think about. Um, oh my gosh, there's so many different things. Pardon me, I'm looking at some screenshots that I can share. Okay, so I do want to show this one because this one has been talked about a lot. And I just want to get this out there because in case people haven't seen it before, they can put this to rest. This picture was popular when it came out. Everybody thought um, that this girl was Kylie. It is not. This is a be real picture. This is how they come out because the person taking the picture is up here. She's actually standing in front of the girls, taking a selfie, and at the same time it takes a picture of what's in front of her, which would be the girls. So she's standing in the open doorway taking a picture of the three girls, and this is hers. This person up here, I believe, is Callie Ross. um and then these messages, the one at 10:03, I'm one of the girls in that photo. I'm sorry to tell you that's not Kylie with me. I didn't personally know her. I wasn't there. And then the girls in the picture, okay, yeah, we're not even at the same place or party as the one Kylie was at. Stop spreading false info. So, and then this was just when she was found. They uploaded this. I don't know what this, I think this is Olivia Chronicles with Olivia, but anyway, this is not Kylie. This person right here is not Kiely Rodni. A lot of people were speculating that it was. It is not, and this is proof that it's not. We did find that out early on, and that person has those people have come forward, and Kiely was not in that photo at all. Um, does it look like Kiely? Yeah. I was one of those people that were like, "Oh my god, it looks like she's so out of it right here. She's propped up against them. Like, was she drugged?" Like, I was one of those. And I'm here to say that I was wrong. Now there is a lot of talk now that Boca seems to be a point of interest, and that's where I believe we need to start looking. We need to really start digging and figuring out things on Boca, and I'm so glad that CNY is covering that because I think it's very important. Um, where I stand when it comes to Jagger, I have no idea. I really, honestly, truly do not know because it's a back and forth whirlwind. It's a back and forth roller coaster. One day, I think, yeah, he doesn't know anything, he's heartbroken and he's grieving. And then the next day, I might be like, no, he has guilty knowledge. He knows what happened and he wants revenge. He wants vengeance. He wants justice for what happened to her. And then sometimes I'm like, he had 3 different alibis at the beginning. What does he know? What is his involvement? So, I go back and forth. But I'm not going to accuse anyone of anything because I don't know. And that it seems to be the most common phrase in this case is I don't know because we don't. We were fed a false narrative from the beginning. Even if they were even if they were going by the book and they searched and did everything they said they did, and then AWP came and found her, and then, oh, it's an accident. Law enforcement dropped the ball so many freaking times. Number one, how did you miss her car, if that were true? Two, how do you recover her vehicle and not treat the recovery site as a crime scene? The autopsy. It's a slap in our face. Some of it might be factual, but a lot of it is disgusting on what they focused on, and then the lack of information there, and then the whole screw up with the brain tissue being whited out. Like, no, none of it makes any sense. So it brings us back to what happened to Kiely Rodni. I don't know. I want to know. I hope that someday we find out. But as of right now, we really, it's like we're back at square one. And all we can really do is try to keep going back to the beginning and try to read between the lines. Try to figure out when they try to insert a narrative, insert distractions, and try to eliminate those things and use critical thinking and come up with a solid theory of what possibly could have happened to her. Now, when my mind goes to a place of, okay, so let's be realistic, which is what I'm always trying to be, but it's hard to do that with so many distractions. But when you really think about it, what if none of the people at the party really know anything? Because what if Kylie never even went to the party? What if she disappeared some other kind of way? She really was abducted or taken for trafficking or something of that nature and held for ransom, or a threat made to her family that this was going to happen to her, or something really nefarious, and then they had to come up with a narrative and include this group of kids and the locals that they included. And I don't know. I don't like to think of what it could really be, but we really do have to think about those things because that's the reality. And the reality is dark and sinister. And I just pray that one day we find out the truth of what happened to Kylie. Leave me comments below on your thoughts, your speculation, your theories on where you stand today. And we'll talk about it when I go live again. and I appreciate each and every one of you. Much love.